السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى. أما بعد، أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وجعل بينكم مودة ورحمة. صدق الله العظيم. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us an opportunity once again of discussing aspects of our deen, aspects of our religion, and these are the things that make us happy. Without doubt, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Al-yawma akmaltu lakum deenakum. Our deen is complete, our religion is complete. And the beauty about Islam is that Islam does not only discuss our religious aspect in terms of our worship, our ibadah, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also teaches us how to live in a day-to-day life. A person who is happy at home, in their marriage, is without doubt a more dedicated person to his commitment to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And today, with this beautiful series of advices that we have, I have been given the task of speaking on how to spice up one's life after the honeymoon years. Now, obviously, this is a topic which is predominantly for adults, for those who are married or those who are about to get married. And there are certain aspects of this topic which also we need to be cognizant of the fact that this is not really for children, and this is something that children should not view or listen to. Now, when we begin, we all go through phases in life. Honeymoon phase is something that everybody talks about. It is something that everybody thinks about. It is something that everybody ponders over and enjoys even the moments of just thinking of it. Now, when a person gets married, obviously, it is something different. And even those who are married, when you go for a wedding, you would notice that when you see the bride and the groom now walking out and they are on their way, either going to their home or going to wherever they're spending the first night, and this couple automatically looking at them, it makes them think about their first night. And very often, without doubt, it kindles some sort of spark within them. Now, many couples feel that as time goes along, why is it that we don't have that spark anymore that was there during the honeymoon phase? Now, we have to understand that during the time of honeymoon, there are lots of chemicals in the body, there are hormones that are taking change, and this is what creates that environment, that energy in the body. So the honeymoon phase is not something that is going to last exactly the way it is throughout marriage. And this is something that we should not become, despondent about. Yes, it's a beautiful phase of life that we enjoy for as long as possible. But as time goes, this is something that is not going to stay there forever. So we can't be disappointed about the fact that why are we not now like how we were when we were on honeymoon. Now let's be realistic about it. When a couple are on honeymoon, it's something new. There is a lot of passion, there is lust that is involved. Everything is surrounding just one thing, and this is the first time in life for most people that they are encountering this. So this is something different. So this is something that will not stay, and decay is natural. For things to go back to normality is normal. Once people come back from a honeymoon, in the sense of a honeymoon, people now go back to work. People now go back to their normal day-to-day activities, routines. And after a while, there are children that come into the picture. After children are in the picture, it is careers that are there. So everything now becomes very, very busy in life. And this is a reality. This is something that is there. That is why somebody asked an elderly man, they tell me, how's your intimate life? Now that the honeymoon's over and you've lived so many years in marriage. And he said, my intimate life is like Coke. First it was classic, then it went to light, and now it's at zero. So this is something that is very, very common. But what we have to understand is that intimacy is a great connection between couples. We may take it in a lighter note and say that sometimes the best intimacy is after an argument or after a couple have a burst at each other. Why is it such? Because this is such a way of connecting between couples that is natural, and also it is something that is good for the body. It relieves stress. It does so much of good for the body itself. Now, we have to realize it cannot become secondary. It should not become ritual. This intimacy between couples is not something that should leave a marriage. People need to understand that we have to put in positive energy constantly in our marriage in order to maintain this intimacy, in order to maintain that spark in our marriage. So yes, we will maybe call it a lengthened honeymoon period. No doubt. And that is something that can be there. There are so many couples that say, we still enjoy the beauties that we enjoyed at that time. But it may not be as intense as it was, but it is something that we need to work on. Now, in our day-to-day lives, we become so engrossed in our ways that it becomes a burden. It becomes something that is deprived in a relationship. And without us realizing, it is putting pressure onto our relationships. How do we now come out of this? We have to begin by understanding that it is the daily little actions that add up to this. So we cannot, you cannot ignore someone the entire day and then at the end of the day expect intimacy. You cannot be abrupt and rude and completely oblivious of the person, of their existence, of their feelings, of their passions, and of their likes. We cannot even hear what they have to say and then expect intimacy at the end of the day. It's not going to happen. So the little actions throughout the day are very, very important. As couples, no matter how long you're married, you need to take out that time every day to talk to each other. Whether it means, like some couples find it very easy to have a cup of tea in the evening. When the kids are all in bed, everybody is now done, just husband and wife. Have a cup of tea and just talk. Talk about whatever you want to talk about. The day, talk about what your plans are, talk about just nothing. Talk about the funny things that happen during the day. But if you do not give yourselves personal time during the week, personal times during the day, we become detached from each other. And when we become detached, it becomes very difficult to once again come back. Now, we talk about the honeymoon phase. On honeymoon, it's two people who are together all the time. So they're talking to each other all the time. I mean, let's be honest. During that first few days of marriage, we talk, and later on, couples even remind each other, oh, you used to talk so much. Yes, because you enjoyed the talking. So this is something that couples need to make a plan towards. The next important thing is intimacy needs planning when it is happening during our tight schedules. Some couples need to resort towards planning to say, maybe this specific day is our day. No matter what happens, that's the day when it is our day. So we know that we should not have any commitments on that day, etc. Yes, when things happen spontaneously, it's always better. But when it's not happening spontaneously, then we need to now improvise. And one way that has worked greatly for many couples is to now sort of, for the lack of a better term, call it a date night. When you dedicate that night in the week to say that is our night. Now, I'm in no way restricting it to one night, and I'm in no way saying that, it should be so dedicated to that any other time nothing can happen. No, it's just that many couples tend to plan in that way, and in that way it secures that intimacy in that relationship. Another very, very positive thing to put into our relationships is to send notes to each other, send messages to each other. If on a particular day you feel, okay, maybe today is a good day for us to share our intimacy, send a message. And there is something that we tend to be lacking because of social media, is the physical writing of notes. When you physically write a note, it is read and appreciated and understood a lot better than a WhatsApp or something on the phone, email, SMS, whatever it may be. A little piece of paper with a handwritten note will go so far in a relationship. So there are some couples who would, leave a little note saying whatever, giving a hint that tonight something's going to happen. During the day, we need to send jokes to each other. Now, how often don't we receive jokes from friends? Sometimes it's things that we wouldn't share with our children, but it's something that we would only share with an adult. It's just a laugh. Why not share it with your spouse? So, recently a friend of mine said to me, he shared this message and he said, my wife sent me this message. This person, he works in an environment and he knocks, there's a knock on the door. And the lady answers and she said, "Who's there?" And he says, "It's the blind man. Can I come in?" And she says, she just came out of the shower and she says, "Oh, it's a blind man." "Yeah, okay, come in." So he walks in, he looks at the head to toe and he says, "Where would you like me to hang the blinds?" So anyway, my point was that sometimes we need to share messages, things that will kindle a spark in our relationship. When they say send a message, leave a little note to say what's going on. In South Africa, if your spouse wears an ANC t-shirt at night, then please know there's no service delivery that night. Another important thing is to take a night out either every month, every 2 or 3 months, but try and do it 3 to 4 times a year. Take that night out, go out and spend that night just with your spouse. Whether and something that's very important is to spend one weekend or one vacation, just husband and wife. Get babysitters, whether it's you got to drop the kids off by the grandparents or by the aunts and uncles or whatever we need to do, but take that time out and go away, even if it means for one night, every 2 or 3 months, even if it means it's twice a year, a weekend away. But take that time out to go and do what we need to do. Another important thing is to improvise, do new things. We need to do new things in order to keep our intimacy alive. One suggestion someone had given so beautifully. When's the last time that your spouse was in the shower and you just ran in? Without expecting you to just run in. When's the last time your spouse got into bed and realized, oh, you're not wearing what you normally wear or you're not wearing anything? When's the last time we did something, that improved the quality of our intimacy? We need to read. We need to read what are the things that will improve my life. What are the things that are trending? What's trending on the minds of spouses? So we know how to deal with it. Yes, the quantity may be less, but let's not compromise on the quality. Women generally like romance. So women like to be hugged, they like to be kissed, they like to be told things. Men, on the other hand, are very, very physical. And very often you hear this comment that, for men, that's the only thing on their minds. Understand something. A man who is not getting what he wants outside in the haram way, his demands in the home will be a lot more. Because he's not going out getting things what he wants. And understand, it's all available out there today. The wrong is so open, both for men and women. A woman who's working, for example, or a man who's working, and they go and they're seeing people the whole day who are dressed attractively, they smell good, they're talking to them in a decent way, in such a loving way. Some of them may be looking for attention. And then this person comes home. What does the other spouse need to do? We need to realize, so let us stop saying that's all on your mind. That's all that you want. No, sometimes, like I read a book that's written by a woman who says that sometimes for men, it's all about those few seconds. So she says, woman, come on, be a bit more exciting in your life. Sometimes all you need to do is just get him off guard and give him those few seconds that he wants, that gives him that release of stress, and then he is satisfied. Similarly with women, when a person is satisfied, they don't find the need to go out and look for what is wrong. So let us stop saying, why is physical intimacy a means of reward for a Muslim? Because it protects us from haram. So stop saying that that's all that you want. What else are we? This is a halal avenue. That's why we married. So let us not look at it in that way. Another important thing is we need to understand that the environment is very, very tricky out there. The environment is very, very challenging. So we have to understand what is going on outside and make sure that what needs to be done in the home is done. Like I said, improvise, be spontaneous, read about good things, surprise your spouse, and keep them satisfied at home. In that way, you will be satisfied. Your home is a beautiful environment. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all with a very, very beautiful marriage. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep the intimacy in a halal way within the bounds of Sharia, but in a way that keeps both spouses completely fulfilled. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.